Welcome back, students. Welcome to the class. So today we will going to discuss the structures of the various types of complexes that is given by valence bond theory and the crystal field theory. Okay. Now look at the structure here. Now this compound is what? This compound is diamagnetic. This compound is paramagnetic. Interestingly, in both the cases, iron in +2 state, so it is D6. So why D6 system with cyanide is diamagnetic while D6 system with fluorine is paramagnetic? Similarly, if you have FeCN6, now both of them are what? Both of them are in what? Same ligand. But here if you see, here in this case it is weakly paramagnetic. Similarly, if you see these complexes of nickel, this complex of nickel, that is tetracarbonyl nickel, this is tetrachloridonucleate 2, and that is tetracyanidinonucleate 2. This complex is diamagnetic, this complex is paramagnetic. Okay. So why all of these complexes are different nature despite being have a similar metallic atom? And if even if the metallic atoms is same, there is, in this case it is +2, in this case it is +3. So it means difference in oxygen state of the metal and difference in the type of the ligand and difference in the... Now, in order to understand all these complex theories, first we need to look at the one theory that is called as what? That is called as valence bond theory. The theory was given by Louis Pauling. As the name described that, the bonding by using the hybrid orbitals and the electron pair of the valence shell. Now we already know that only the valence orbitals and valence electrons, they participate in bonding, and the valence orbitals which are equivalent in energy level, they will undergo intermixing. It is not that when the energy level is far away they can intermix. So orbitals which have nearly the same energy level, they will undergo intermixing and they will give a hybrid orbital. Okay, and in that hybrid orbital, the energy, the orientation and the shape, that is different from the atomic orbital from which the hybrid orbital has been derived from. These are the main theory. Now in that also we will incorporate one more things which are basically required in case of coordinate compound. Okay, so what does happen in case of complexes? In case of complexes, the central metal atom provides a number of empty orbitals equal to the coordination number for the formation of that particular complex. Okay, and so that those orbitals can overlap with the ligand's orbitals. The empty orbitals of the metal ion hybridized to give an equal number of hybrid orbital. Remember that the orbitals of the metal will undergo intermixing, and that intermixing will be influenced by the presence of the ligand and on the charge on the metal ion. And beside that, I am repeating once more, the intermixing and the shape will depend upon the charge on the metal ion, the type of the ligand present, and the series of the transition metal. Because 3D, 4D, 5D, these are the three series of the transition metals. As we move down the group, okay, the energy gap between the orbitals decreases, so the intermixing becomes very much easy. Okay, The metal ion can use its n minus d orbitals, nsp orbital or nd orbitals. That is also very interesting case. What is that interesting case is that if the orbital will use its n minus 1d and ns electron, if n minus 1d orbitals are used, it is called as inner orbital, and if nd orbital are used, it is called as outer orbitals. Okay, remember that. It means, let us suppose for 3D series of the transition, if 3D orbitals are used, it is called as what? It is called as inner orbital. If 4D orbital will be used, it is called as outer orbitals. Are you getting that or not? So based on that, they can undergo hybridization to give you square planar, tetrahedral and octahedral geometry. These hybrid orbitals then overlap with the ligand orbitals, which will donate their electron to these hybrid orbitals. The overlapping may result in a sigma bond or a metal ligand coordinate bond. Actually, what does happen in most of the cases, here sharing does not happen, donation of the happens. The metal orbitals, they undergo intermixing to give you a hybrid orbital. Those hybrid orbitals will accept the lone pair of electrons from the ligands. I am repeating once more. Those metal hybrid orbitals, they will accept the electron from the ligands. In the next case, the lone pair of the ligand enter the empty hybrid orbital of the metal by maintaining the electronic configuration original present in the ligand. So there will be no change in the number of electrons around the ligand. Each ligand donates one pair of electrons to the central metal atom. It is given by a arrow because it represents the coordinate linkage. In normal covalent bond, the sharing of electron happens. One electron coming from the hybrid orbital, one electron coming from the incoming orbitals. But here both the electrons are given by the ligand. Remember that. The non-bonding metal electrons present in the inner orbital do not take part in chemical bonding. Okay, the inner orbitals which do not take part in hybridization, they will not take part in that type of bonding. If the complex contain unpaired electrons, the complex is paramagnetic, whereas if all the electrons are paired, then the complex will be diamagnetic. You have to understand. Okay, you have to understand that there are strong ligands are there. Under the influence, strong ligand like ammonia, cyanide, carbon monoxide, or any pi ligand, or EDTA like that, the electron can be forced up to pair up. Okay, so what happens? Strong ligand will make the electron of the metal atom forced to pair up. Now we have to take it into account one more picture, that is what is inner orbital and what is outer orbital complexes. Okay, for octahedral complexes, 6 hybrid orbitals are used by metal atom, and the d orbital used by the metal for nd series may either n-1d or nd. Okay, for the octahedral, what is the configuration? The configuration is what? The hybridization is d2sp3, then it is called as inner orbital. It means in that case what happened? n-1d orbitals are used, and if the hybridization is sp3d2, it means outer orbital are used. I am repeating once more. If it is written d2sp3, if it is written d2sp3, it means n-1d orbitals are used. If it is written sp3d2, it means nd orbitals are used. Okay, so look at that. If the complex is formed by using inner n-1d orbital, it is d2sp3. Okay, then it is called as inner orbital octahedral. In these complexes, the electrons are formed by pairing of electrons. So these complexes are low spin, means most of the electrons got paired up. But if the complex is formed by using outer orbital nd orbital, then it is called as outer orbital octahedral, and it has a large number of unpaired electron in that case. So it is a high spin complex, more paramagnetic in nature. For example, inner orbital octahedral, what is that? FeCN6 4 negative, CONH3 6. Outer orbital, hexa aqua iron 3 or hexa fluorocobalt 3. Are you getting that or not? We will see this now. Weak ligands favors high spin complexes because they cannot pair up the electron against the Hounslow. Now look at the answer. Now what we have here FeCN6 3 negative and FeF6 3 negative. In both the cases, iron in +3. Now I will write the answer first. Now this compound is weakly paramagnetic. It is weakly paramagnetic and this is highly paramagnetic. Now look at that, how it is able to exist. Now in both the cases, iron in +3 state. The cases iron in +3 state. So under normal condition, iron is what? Iron is 3d6 4s2. Now if 3 electron is lost, then iron 3 plus will be what? 3d5. So that will be the outer orbital picture of iron now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 4s, that is 4p. So that is 4s, 4p, and that is 3d. 4d orbitals, they are empty. 1, 2, 3. So what we will write? We will again write what? We will again write the, that is 3d. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4s, that is 4p, and that is 4d, that is 3d. So if 3d is used, it will be called as inner orbital, and if 4d is used, it is called as outer orbital. Now Cn is a strong ligand. What does the strong ligand do? It will cause pairing of the electron. Cn is a strong ligand. And what it will cause? What it will cause pairing of electron. And this cause pairing of electron, what it will do? So the pairing will happen like that. So 4s and 4p. So 3d orbitals, 4s orbital and 4p orbitals. Now these are the 2 d orbitals. This is 1s orbital and that is 4p orbital. What will happen? 6 cyanide ion will donate their lone pair here. How it will donate? One will go here, the other will go here. So it becomes what? It becomes D2sp3. It becomes what? D2sp3. Okay. 6 cyanide will do what? It will give the lone pair of electron to these orbitals. So it becomes D2sp3. What is being used? n minus 1 because n is 4, n is here 4, so n minus 1 will be d, 3, it will be 3 in this case. So what we are using 3d 4s and 4p orbitals, so it has only one electron as unpaired, So what is the formula for magnetic moment? Mu is equal to n plus 2 Bohr-Magneto. So you will put the value 1 here, so 1 becomes 1 plus 2 root 3, so it becomes root 3 Bohr-Magneto. So what you are observing? So in case of FeCN6 negative, we are getting an inner orbital. Inner orbital octahedral having magnetic moment under root 3. Now again taking the same case once more, Fe 3 negative now. Now in this case, so Fe is in plus 3 state, so it is d5 4s 0. So you will write 3d here, 1 2 3 4, 4s there, 4p there, and 4d here, 1 2 3 4. So it is 3d 4s 4p and 4d. So here also 5 electrons are present unpaired here. Now fluoride ion is a very weak ligand. So what is a weak ligand? It cannot do what? It cannot do pairing of electrons. What it can do? It can't do pairing of electrons. If can't do pairing of electrons, so what happens here? So in this case, these 5 electrons will remain unpaired. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, but what about the other? So this is 4s, this is 4p, and this is 4d. So here what happens? It is 4s, that is 4p, that is 4d. So now here 3d orbitals are not empty. Why? Because fluoride ions cannot do pairing of electrons, so the electron will remain unpaired. So here in case of 3d, we can see vacant orbitals are not available. So when vacant orbitals are not available, the obvious electron will go to the vacant orbitals. So where they are available? They are available here in this case. So what has happened? So in this case, what will happen? So these 3d electron will remain unpaired, but this 4s, this 4p, and the 4d electron, what they will do? So 6 into fluoride ion, what they will do? The electron will be donated to 4s, 4p, 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 4d, 4d. So what is the configuration here? It is sp3d2. Why? Because in this case 4d orbitals are being used. So it is outer orbital octahedral. What is that? Outer orbital octahedral. What is that? Outer orbital octahedral. It has 5 electron unpaired. If the 5 electrons are unpaired, what is the magnetic moment? Magnetic moment will be n plus 2 Bohr-Magneto. So what is the answer here? 5 into 5 plus 2, So answer will be under root 35 Bohr magneto. Are you getting that in your mind now? Sure.